hear me out, okay? Please, hear me out, hear me out. I know that the holidays have come and gone and we're already prepping for the new personality that we're all gonna collectively drop 3 weeks into January. Sorry, that was a read. But this holiday season, I decided I wanted to consume less and create more. I figured that would be a good way to bring a lot more sentimentality into my gifts, and you know, I'm sure my wallet didn't mind as well. There were only 2 projects that I wanted to take on, and I have had them planned in my head for weeks at this point. My mother is the kind of woman who's gonna ask you if you've kept the receipt about 30 seconds after you've given her a gift. I cannot count how many times I thought I knocked a gift out of the park. This gift is Oscar winning. This gift is Tony nominated. No one in the world has gotten a better gift for their mother. Cut to us 5 days later at Macy's in the line for a gift exchange. Every time. So this year I opted for something that my mom couldn't refuse or return, possibly the one thing she's wanted most, her sweet little babies back at that age where they needed her for everything. I went with the portrait on wood since I wanted the gift to be something tangible that she could display as opposed to my usual digital art style. I've really been into the Regency era lately, so I researched family portraits with young children along with the fashion of that era. My result might not have been 100% accurate with the times, but it was very fun drawing the poofy dresses and the details and the pearls and the bows. There were also very limited resources of Black people in Regency/Victorian attire, at least in comparison to white people. So it was really stimulating to put my family in that format. I feel the bright colors go really well with our skin tones. I used different outfits than the original reference. I opted for ones that I feel fit the personality and dynamics of our family a lot more. I started with the digital sketch to map everything out, and I actually used the cube method for the very first time. If you don't know what that is, that's when you have a piece but you want to transfer it to a different medium, so you sort of map it out in cubes and get the correct measurement so that when you transfer your art piece onto that other thing, whether it be a canvas, whether it be wood, whether it be just a small canvas to a bigger canvas, you sort of map it out so the measurements match. That way you can just copy the exact same thing that's in each cube. It wasn't the exact same as the digital sketch, but I found it was a really great way to keep track of proportions and to make sure that you keep all of the details in the same place. The further and further I got into this portrait, the more my energy started to drain. It was December 23rd, okay? I had a paintbrush and a dream at this point.
Elmo has a T-Rex and a Go Fish card.
I just realized that I've been painting it this way, and the little notch where you're supposed to hang it is on the bottom. So I'm painting this completely upside down. I wanted to make this so my mother could put it up on the wall, and I just now realized that the notch, this little plastic notch, is on the bottom. Honestly, I found myself wishing that I was doing it digitally at this point, since I know it would be a lot easier, but it felt good to get back into the roots of traditional art and have to work a little harder to get those highlights and those shadows that I was looking for. But I felt like this, not gonna lie.
Let me sit my stupid ass down. Bro, what am I?
I went with spring colors. I wanted this portrait to have a very light feel to it. We're a wealthy family and we have a giant garden at our estate, okay? We wear a concerning amount of layers and our lives are one of leisure and status, as well as respect and familial love, okay? The Bridgertons couldn't compare. I continued to add more colors with each layer, building a cohesive piece that looked more finished as time went on. I didn't want to make the faces too detailed as they were on a smaller scale and I felt it would be too difficult. I figured if I got the style and our facial structure down that it can be simplified. Okay. This is what we have. I did the sides. I'm gonna let the sides dry. I added Mod Podge on the top just as a sealant and a little bit of glitter and like pieces of leaves and butterflies to accentuate the garden. But after that, you know, portrait was done. It was time to move on to gift number 2. Making up a song about Coraline. This gift, I swear to God, I have had this planned out for like 6 months, honestly. I was very excited to make this gift before it kicked my ass in the process. My sister is quite the fan of Leica's 2009 classic Coraline. Not as big a fan as I am. Go check out my Coraline cosplay on my TikTok. But she was recently obsessed with all of the theories that sprouted this year. I know that the director, Henry Selick, has said that everything in the movie was intentional and on purpose, and that nothing is there on accident. And my sister is a sucker for all of the little details in movies that go over most people's heads. I swear to God, if I ever want to watch a movie with her, I have to watch it first on my own and then watch it with her as she sees it for the first time. Because if we're both watching it for the first time, she's just gonna guess everything and then get it right, even if she doesn't know that it's right. She spoils the movie for me, and then I'm just like, can you shut up, please? But I digress. I can recall us scrolling through Belle DeVelle's TikTok. She highlights lots of Coraline theories and missed details in the movie, but there was one in particular that freaked us out more than most.
This is officially the scariest thing that I found in Coraline, and I have an 18-part series at this point. What I found today makes me honestly a little bit sick to my stomach. The amount of detail that's in this movie is grotesque, okay? It's overwhelming. I love Leica Studios so much. They took what was already kind of a spooky film and just really upped the ante on it. And this is what I mean. In this scene when Coraline is going down the hall at the very end of the movie, right? She's running down the tunnel. The beldam is chasing after her by pounding on the little door, right? And the more she pounds, the closer it gets. Now, I'm playing the scene back slowly so that y'all can get a glimpse of the amount of clothing that is inside of this tunnel, all right? It's sickening. And I want to say it's random, but they're not, okay? At least some of them aren't, and I'll show you why. I'm not sure how many y'all were able to find while I was talking. There have been about 5 or 6 items of clothing that have flashed up on the screen just in the last 10 seconds. Now we're gonna go over them. Here we've got some shoes and a little sock, okay? So we've got the little striped sock. We've got this little Mary Jane shoe, okay? Stick with me, all right? We're gonna go on a little dive here. That's the other little sock. Here's a jacket, like a tweed kind of jacket. This is like a blue plaid, like long sleeve shirt. There it is again. These are jeans, okay? This is a little pink sock, which is like tucked up on the little side. Back there is a little straw hat, all right? That's like a little paperboy hat, like a newsy cap. And then we've got this shoe, okay? Y'all remember the Ghost Kids? All right, just stick with me here. Y'all remember Wybie's great aunt, right? Grandma's missing sister. I decided to go back and look at what type of shoes she's wearing. She's got little string shoes. And in this photo, it looks like that's a white tip shoe, kind of like that, right? And then the other ghost girl, she's got this little straw hat, right? Y'all remember? She's got this little hat. What is that straw hat doing in the tunnel, y'all? This is the one that hurts the most, okay? You remember the boring blue boy at the very beginning in the movie that Coraline sees before she even goes into the door, right? She sees a painting of this boy. Pay attention to the little black bow and the 2 lines that are on the white piece on top of the jacket. Okay, y'all see the little black bow? And we've got the 2 lines. Little black bow, 2 lines. Little black bow, 2 lines. I'm nauseous. I'm sick. I'm sick. Ah! Y'all, he was real. He was real.
As I approached the felt of the doll, I went to Michael's, I couldn't find a felt that was a darker brown than this caramel macchiato shade.
Caramel macchiato.
So I painted it the same shade as her skin. I didn't know how the fabric would take it, as this was just acrylic paint, it wasn't fabric paint. As it dried, it sort of crackled and lifted in a way that I didn't love, but I could deal with it. Making the clothes for this doll, oh my god, this took me out. At first, I was thinking of full-legged, like, trousers shoes, Timmy Turner style. And then I realized that the pants were too small for the doll's legs after I hand-stitched it. At this point, it was Christmas Eve. I started Leave the World Behind. It's a really good movie, by the way. But I had started it when I began stitching her pants. More than halfway into this 2-hour and 20 minutes movie, I then realized as I tried to put the pants on the doll that it was too small. So, you know, one breakdown later, And her outfit was now a short-sleeved dress, somewhat, you know, late 90s style, with the lavender tulle fabric taking the lead. I actually liked how it turned out. Anyone who makes dolls, I salute you guys so much. Oh, I'm sure you have sewing machines, so that makes things a lot easier, but oh my god. Rachel Maksy has a very detailed, a lot more professional video on making a Coraline doll, so if you actually want to learn, I recommend watching her videos. Her channel is really great about like DIY, making things. I recommend her video. I actually went back to it a couple of times throughout this process just to see what she did and then use that as a reference. At last, it was around 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve when the gifts were finally done and I could rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. What is this shape? No, there's a no. Oh. Ain't no way! What? Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate it, and I am very thankful for where I'm at this holiday season. For the safety of my family and for the roofs over our heads, all of these things that are basic necessities, I do not take it for granted. Your time. The fact that you stayed to the end, if you did, thank you so much. I don't take you using your time to watch my video for granted. I really appreciate it. I hope you've had an amazing holiday season yourself, and I am very excited to take this channel into the new year. I hope you'll stick around. Until next time, bye! Bye!